I cry aloud to the Lord, and he answers me from his holy mountain. The psalmist declared, "In my distress I called to the Lord. I cried to my God for help. From his temple he heard my voice. My cry came before him into his ears." God is not distant or deaf to our pain. He bends down to listen. The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears them. He delivers them from all their troubles. Every tear, every whisper, every desperate prayer is known to him. His ears are attentive, and his heart is moved with compassion toward his children. The psalmist wrote, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Even in the silence, God is listening. Hannah poured out her soul before the Lord in bitter anguish, and he remembered her cry. David said, "Evening, morning, and noon, I cry out in distress, and he hears my voice." God hears not only the words we speak, but also the groanings of our hearts. His Spirit intercedes for us with sighs too deep for words, carrying our prayers before the throne of grace, where mercy and help are always found. The Lord promises, "Call on me in the day of trouble. I will deliver you, and you will honor me." The psalmist declared, "I sought the Lord, and he answered me. He delivered me from all my fears." God is attentive to every prayer, whether whispered in weakness or cried out in desperation. Even when words fail, he knows the burdens we carry. His compassion is not limited by our strength, for he hears the humble heart. When we lift our cries to him, he responds with comfort, peace, and deliverance, proving he is always near to his people. Let's keep seeking him together. Subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss a moment. David wrote, "The eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their cry." God hears every plea, not because of our worthiness, but because of his great mercy. When Israel groaned under the weight of slavery, God heard their cry and remembered his covenant. In the same way, he hears us in our struggles and responds with deliverance in his perfect timing. The Lord says, "Before they call, I will answer. While they are still speaking, I will hear." His ear is never closed, and his love is never far from those who call on him. The psalmist proclaimed, "I love the Lord, for he heard my voice. He heard my cry for mercy. Because he turned his ear to me, I will call on him as long as I live." God's faithfulness in hearing prayer gives us confidence to keep seeking him. The Lord has heard my cry for mercy. The Lord accepts my prayer. He does not ignore the cries of the afflicted or despise the prayers of the poor in spirit. Each prayer rises before him like incense, precious and remembered. His ear is inclined to us, and his heart responds with compassion. Jonah, from the belly of the great fish, prayed, "In my distress I called to the Lord, and he answered me. From deep in the realm of the dead I called for help, and you listened to my cry." No place is too dark, no situation too desperate for God to hear. The psalmist declared, "When I called, you answered me. You greatly emboldened me." God's ear is never deaf, his hand never too short to save. Whether in the heights of joy or the depths of despair, Every cry reaches him, and his mercy is always ready to respond. The Lord hears not only the cries of his people, but also their praises. In my alarm I said, I am cut off from your sight. Yet you heard my cry for mercy when I called to you for help. God delights in the prayers of the faithful, and his response is always rooted in love. Sometimes he delivers instantly, other times he strengthens us to endure, but he always answers. The psalmist declared, "The Lord has heard my supplication, the Lord receives my prayer." His ear is attentive, his heart is kind, and his presence is near to all who call. God hears every cry, whether it is shouted in desperation or whispered in silence. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. He treasures the prayers of his children and responds according to his perfect will. His promise is sure. The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. Every tear is noticed, every sigh is remembered, and every prayer is carried to his throne. If God truly hears every cry of your heart, what is the one prayer you need to lift up to him today without holding back?